Turning now to news out of China, the country's National Bureau of Statistics recording a drop of about 850,000 people in population. Why is that so significant? It's the country's first recorded decrease since the early 1960s. The move could make India the world's most populous nation and comes as the Chinese government is under real pressure to grow its economy through consumption rather than through production and exports. And look, a lot was made of the GDP number. This is far more significant when you consider China's economy, plus the fact that we don't know how much to believe that actual 3% GDP number. This has huge ramifications down the line. And I think all the data you're getting out of China, or that Xi Jinping gets out of China, tells you why they are reversing their zero COVID policy. It was real panic.
Yeah, they need to do something to stimulate their economy over there. Clearly, we have seen a significant slowdown in China. When you take into account that this is the second slowest growth rate on record, really speaks to the severity of this situation over there. But I also think it's important to point out what it means for U.S. investors and what it means for a lot of U.S. companies. Take an example, Apple. There's a story in the FT recently talking about the exposure to China. Even though Apple has started to diversify its supply chain, it's still very reliant on China, making more than 80% of its iPhone, its Mac, its iPads, its AirPods still manufactured within the country. And Apple, far from the only company here that could feel the impact continually over the next coming years of that population drop and also the slowing growth over there. Nike, for example, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, just some of the bigger names that rely heavily on sales in China. So if you combine the weaker economic picture there, what that could mean going forward certainly could mean some pain here for U.S. investors if, in fact, you are invested with some of those names.
And if you look at some of the investments today, Baidu, JD.com, Pinduoduo, three of the biggest four losers on the NASDAQ today, despite all the optimism we're hearing out of the China reopening. So it really makes you wonder how significant that reopening is. And as for that population, it's only going to get worse. Most predict it will continue through 2030. And we just reported 60,000 COVID deaths since their reopening, only going to facilitate with the Chinese Lunar New Year. Some believe that will be the biggest super spreader event we've ever seen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what numbers actually do come out of China.